Tom Walker is probably one of the most successful breakthrough stars of the past few years. You might know his song Leave a Light On. He has been a hit in countries all over the world. And he has a new song out, which is very exciting. It's called Something Beautiful, and it's with Masked Wolf this time. Tom, thank you so much for joining me on the Hit Mix.
No worries. Thank you for the lovely intro.
No problem at all. I practiced a lot, you can tell.
I like it. Very smooth.
So listen, the new song, it's unbelievable. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Nice one.
And tell me a little bit about it. Like, what's the meaning behind the song? How did it come about?
So yeah, it was a bit of a funny one actually. It was my first ever writing session on Zoom was with Steve Mack, who I wrote Leave a Light On with. And we wrote that song in a couple of hours and then went back and forth sending parts to each other, and basically sat on it for 6 months. And I was trying to finish these verses, and the whole idea from the song was finding a silver lining during a really difficult time, because I think that people who've struggled with pain and trauma, who've come through the other side of it, always come through so much stronger, and it's a beautiful thing to see. And I wanted to kind of encapsulate that in a song, but I just couldn't get the right narrative for the verses. I ended up writing like a 20 A4 page document of different verse ideas, and just like none of them were quite connecting. And I heard Masked Wolf's Astronaut in the Ocean song, and I just absolutely loved his flow and his lyrics. He was just so sick. And me and the team reached out to him thinking, oh, it's probably not going to happen, but you know, it's worth a punt. And sent him the song, and he loved it. And he got straight back to us, and he'd done 2 verses on it, and they were both just perfect. You know, he nailed the meaning of the song. He really encapsulated it. And I just thought his voice and his flow sounded amazing. So it was a bit of a random one, you know, like, I think if it wasn't for the lockdown, I wouldn't have been working with somebody across the world in Australia on a collab.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's funny because the silver lining of working with him probably only came about because of the pandemic. And that's kind of the whole theme of the song, that like, even through really tough and difficult times, there is always a little something you can look to for a bit of light.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's definitely, I think, in tune with what everybody had to discover about themselves during lockdown. We were all thrust into these really unexpected situations where it was kind of sink or swim. You know, you have to try and find the silver lining in every single situation. And I love how I think so many people have learned, you know, I might not have tried to work with this person before. I might not have done, you know, a recording session or, you know, hash things out through Zoom before, but it's really interesting to see how we've come kind of full circle. And now there's this new way of recording. And do you think that will be the way to record going forward? If there's someone who lives in LA, you're like, right, let's just reach out to them. Let's get them on Zoom.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of writers at the moment who are a bit like, I'm back in the studio now. I'm not doing any more Zoom sessions, but what it will be useful for, I think, is like when you get in with somebody and you write and you don't quite finish it on the day, and then you can just jump on a Zoom. You know, I was on a Zoom the other day with 2 people who were like in Nashville and another person who is in LA, and we were like finishing something together. And
Amazing.
that's quite cool that you can do that. But yeah, I mean, definitely, I think after a little break of a couple of months, now that people are so excited to get back in the studio with their favorite artists and producers, I think after that, it'll definitely be more accepted within the industry to do like writing sessions over Zoom. And
Yeah, for sure.
people all over the world, which is only a good thing.
And I think as well, when you have someone in mind, like obviously you had Masked Wolf as the person that you would love to have on this tune. Do you ever have, you know, someone in mind like that? You send them the verse, and you know, maybe you discover, God, they're actually not really right for that song. Is it really hard to make that call because you admire them, you want to work with them, but you have to go, I don't know if this is going to work?
Do you know what? I don't think that particular situation has happened to me yet. Like I've only done a few collaborations, and it's Masked Wolf, Zara Larsson, and Rudimental, all who are like amazing artists and at the top of their game. So that's not really come across. I've definitely done it with myself, where I've written a song and I've been like, oh my God, this is like, I've come out of the session on that honeymoon phase where I'm like, this song's amazing and everything's great. And then 3 days later, I listen to it and I'm like, yeah, that's just a bit plain, actually. It's very good.
That's amazing. And you filmed the music video in LA. What was that like? I'd say it was so nice to actually just kind of be on the road again, even in the sense that it's not on a tour. You know, you're working and you're going on location for work.
Yeah, well, it was actually really lucky because I'd planned like a 3-week writing trip that kept getting delayed because I couldn't sort of visa out for all sorts of pandemic-y Brexit-y reasons. I mean, not to America because of Brexit, but basically because of the pandemic, it was super hard to get a visa. Everything I had expired, and it took ages to sort out. But then I went to Nashville for 10 days, and at the end I went to LA, and on the last day it just so happened that it was the only time me and Masked Wolf were in the same city at the same time, so we organized to do the video out in LA, and it was a wicked day. The director Anastasia, she did such a great job casting all the actors in the film and just really encapsulating what the song is about, and bringing like a really great narrative to life. So I was super happy, and obviously being out in sunny LA is always a good thing.
Absolutely. I think you could do anything out there. You could be shoveling rubbish out in LA. You'd be like, this is beautiful. This is great.
I think I might get bored of it. I quite like it when it's there's something beautiful about like the UK where the seasons change and like it's really beautiful, like even when it's a bit rainy and misty, like the leaves are falling off the tree, whereas in LA it just looks the same all the time, like all year. So
I know it's like 19 degrees in winter and they're like, it's freezing, and you're like, are you joking? This is my summer. We get slush. We don't even get snow. Like we don't even get proper seasons in Ireland. We get slush instead of snow, and then we might get like a Thursday in July. That's our summer. So when you go over there, you're like, it's just a completely different world altogether. And a big question, is there any tours that we can look forward to in the next while? Maybe you might pop over to Dublin at some stage.
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of just seeing. I've not finished the album yet, and I'm trying to get it finished before the end of the year. But obviously, things got pushed back, and trying to get in with producers. Now everybody's super busy, and it's quite difficult to get things done because it's a mad rush for so many artists. So, but yeah, I'm sure next year will definitely be over. That
would be unreal.
Yeah.
At some point, fingers crossed, because that would be absolutely amazing. And how far along is the album? Are you kind of on the cusp of having it finished? Is there still a few more tweaks to be done? Or are you kind of like, sometimes I feel like, you talk to artists and they find it so hard to actually kind of wrap the album because they always want to make changes and tweaks and they always feel like it's unfinished. Are you kind of in that stage now?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I'm still writing because I'm a big believer of like just carry on writing because like you never know what's going to come and when it's going to happen, and it's always good to just kind of keep that muscle working. But yeah, we're definitely I think I would say we're like 65% of the way there. I've got a couple of really great singles that I'm super happy with, and the label is super happy with. But we'll just see, if it was up to me, I'd continually like pick things apart and make changes, like, and overthink the entire project. So sometimes it's good when like the label are just like, right, it's time now. This is the deadline. Give us the record, get it finished. So,
exactly. They probably have to sit you down and be like, Tom, it's cooked. It's been cooked for about 6 months now. You gotta let her go out into the big bad world. At
this point, give us the album.
She's burnt. And I actually saw, I don't know whether this is right or not, but are you celebrating kind of like a big milestone birthday this year?
Yeah, I mean, I'm turning 30 in December, which is, very scary.
From me to you, welcome to the 30 Club. It's good. And you know what? I think you're so lucky because so many people celebrate. Like I had so many friends that celebrated the 30th birthday, massive milestone birthday in lockdown. So I feel like everybody felt really sorry for me and kind of tried to do more and be like, look, this cake is bigger because, you can't go anywhere. Woohoo, celebrate. I'm so sorry. Is there anything, I suppose, that you're reaching this milestone year that we're going to get deep now. Is there anything that you would tell your younger self, maybe 10 years ago, now that you're turning 30? Any advice for your younger self?
I think just don't be afraid to take risks, especially like the younger you are. Like there's so much less to lose when you're 20 because you're just starting and like you've got all this time to make mistakes and learn from them. And I think that is definitely something I did. I took a lot of gambles and thankfully they paid off. But if they don't, it's fine when you're young because you can just bounce back to something else. And like the older you get, the more you collect in your life and the more things you've got to deal with. So yeah, I would just say take risks.
Yeah. So I'll give you some advice. Back pain. Right. That's what's going to come. And you don't care about anybody's opinion, which is just absolutely amazing. And you will probably get excited about like household appliances like Hoovers and air fryers. So
yeah.
Just a
Everyone
warning.
place has got an air fryer, and they've been like, "You need to get an air fryer."
I know. And you're like, it's fine. I don't really need it. As soon as you turn 30, the morning off, you'll be like, I need it.
I'll be like, I've just woke up this morning. I decided I really need an air fryer. I
You'll
just
sit up
worked
in your
out
bed and be like, Dyson.
every day for the rest of my life. You know what I mean? I might just be in a continual state of eating smiley faces and hash browns out of the air fryer.
That's a good life to live. Do you know what I mean? 30 doesn't mean you have to stop eating your favorite foods. And if you're going to have that and some beans on the side,
It's looking good.
that's the best dinner you can probably get. I'll take that over a fancy restaurant any day. And one more question for you as well. I saw on your Twitter and your Instagram that you were in studio with Gary Lightbody from Snow Patrol. What's going on with that? Anything that you can tell? Just a little bit of information. Are you working on new music or what's the story?
Do you know what? It was so good to be in with both of those lads. They are supremely talented songwriters, and it was just really good to be in with another artist as well who's really lived the life and been through it all. And oh, it was great. We've got 2 songs in the 2 days. One I've been working on all day today and is really starting to sound pretty magical, and I'm super excited about it. And I've got the luxury of I've not sent it to anybody yet. I've not told the label about it. Like I'm just kind of enjoying the like finishing it off on my own and like tweaking and making little points. But yeah, I'm super excited. I think definitely one of those tunes is going to come out. So hopefully.
That's fantastic. That's really exciting. And speaking of, you're the only person and the people who are in the studio who've actually heard the song. Is there a person that you kind of send your songs to, send your music to, send your albums to? Because I know Adele, when she brought out her latest tune or her album, she said that Drake was the person that she sent her album to just to have a listen. I was like, well, you friends in high places. Do you have like a family member, a friend, a partner that you send your song to and you go, please be honest with me, is this good or is it crap? Or do I just have like rose tinted glasses on?
No, I do. I always send stuff to my dad because I think before I signed to a record label, he was probably my A&R. Like my dad's so into music and he loves, like, he's so eclectic. He loves like Deadmau5 and Prodigy, Foo Fighters, AC/DC, Adele. Like he's into a bit of everything. So I always send him stuff. Not at the starting phases, because I like to kind of figure things out for myself. But like when it's getting mixed and mastered, I always send it to my dad before I put it out. And I'm like, give me your honest opinion. Like, do you think this is crap or are we on to a winner? So, yeah.
And the big question is, has he ever turned around and been like,
I think he hasn't turned around and been like, I don't like the song, but he's been like, it's a bit modern for me, this. Listen to Deadmau5 and he's like, the drums are a bit like
loud.
You know what I mean?
It's the equivalent of me wearing an outfit and my mom being like, is that what you're wearing? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And she just won't say anything about it.
It's one of those for sure.
The backwards compliment, Well, listen, Tom, I really appreciate you joining me on the Hit Mix on FM104 today. It's been great chatting to you.
Absolutely.
Great catching up. And the new tune with Masked Wolf, it's amazing. And I would love if you could introduce it on the Hit Mix for us to play tonight, please.
Absolutely. Hey, I'm Tom Walker, and this is my brand new single featuring Masked Wolf, Something Beautiful.
Thank you so much. Listen, enjoy the rest of your day. And thanks a mil for chatting to me.
Thanks for the time. I really appreciate it. Nice one.